Oh my God, you're not gonna believe it. That is just rare for a pre-Series A company. If I were to bleed right now, I'd probably be green with all the green tea I'm consuming. And then I get a text from the founder last night saying, Preston, I think we're gonna move forward to an Happy Friday and welcome to not another week in the life, but another day in the life of what I do every single day as a recruiter in the technology industry. I wanted to actually capture this whole week, but it's been absolutely insane. Did not have any time, completely forgot to turn on the camera, but there's still a lot going on this week, a lot going on today, so make sure that you stay tuned. Okay, so a couple quick announcements. We noticed that a lot of you guys who are watching our videos, first of all, we appreciate it, but a lot of you guys aren't subscribed. So if you like this content, want to see more like it, want to help us stay focused and excited to keep on going and talk about all things recruiting, hiring, jobs, tech, startups, feel free to give us a big like and subscribe. It honestly means a lot and I'm grateful for your attention. The second thing I want to talk about is don't forget to follow our podcast. Our podcast basically kickstarts the amazing successful journeys of professionals. And when I say professionals, it can mean other tech professionals, other recruiting professionals, in-house agency founders, and other founders as well, maybe tech founders and founders in other markets. And we have some amazing people that we've shot already that are planning to shoot, and make sure that if you're interested, it's a brand new YouTube channel. Pause right now, search the Kickstart Podcast. Feel free to like and subscribe there for the full videos. We will showcase a portion of the smaller videos on this channel, but if you guys want to hear the nitty-gritty and collect and absorb all the really cool insights and nuggets, definitely check that out. Happy to also say that we had an amazing free Q&A, so if you're watching this and you participated, thank you so much. It was super cool to meet all of you, and I just want to be able to help you all as much as I can and talk about an industry that literally changed my life and I know can change all of yours or impact yours in a certain way. So if you're a recruiter, you're thinking about recruiting, reach out to me. Love to hear your stories. If you have any other questions that you have, feel free to hit me up here on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and most importantly, a Discord. Last but not least, we have a free Discord channel in the description box below with other like-minded individuals around the world where we just help each other out. You don't have to be a recruiter, but if you are a recruiting aficionado, you're fascinated and intrigued, feel free to join as well. It's super cool. It's a great way to get in touch with me right now. But enough talking, let's get started with the day. All right, so I have my trusty green tea here. The past couple weeks, I've been drinking my matcha when I wake up, and then mid-morning, I would make myself another cup of green tea. So I'm green tea'd out. If I were to bleed right now, I'd probably be green with all the green tea I'm consuming. But I feel great, energy is fantastic. We got some crazy news. So late last night, Thursday, I get a text. So we're working with a really good friend of mine who is running his super small early stage company. They only have about 3 people right now. And I'm helping him with 4 different roles. One of them is a head of engineering, massive role with a massive commission opportunity. We've been sending him consistently a good handful of folks every single week from some of the best companies out there: Lyft, Compass, Instagram, Facebook, Meta, Google, Amazon. And even though some of them are amazing, none of them just were really that exciting, surprisingly. But he did tell me in a full disclosure, he is super selective and he wants to be extremely picky, rightfully so. This is gonna be his first leadership engineering role. So he really wants to take his time. Well, we found one person, and this person has slowly been going through the process. And then I get a text from the founder last night saying, Preston, I think we're gonna move forward to an offer. Let's freaking go. In August, in recession, let's go. Thank you, recruiting gods. It's man, every time an offer happens, obviously I'm excited, I'm pumped, but just really grateful. I think working and living and practicing just gratitude, grateful that I'm still able to work in this crazy market, grateful that I'm still healthy, grateful that we have another potential offer. I'm just grateful. And if it happens, I will do my best to make sure it happens and ends in a positive solution. If it doesn't happen, at least I try my best and want to make sure that everyone I work with still has a positive experience, so that we might have future opportunities to work together down the line. Never burn bridges, never go for the shortcut, and never do unnecessary shortcuts. Always think about building and cultivating, maintaining really strong relationships long term. So I just synced up with the candidate this morning. He's pumped. When I first talked to him, he really wasn't actively looking, but because I pitched it well and because my client wanted or is able to offer everything my candidate wanted. After the first conversation, he was hooked, he was engaged. And now through the whole process, he's excited. He's not even interviewing anywhere else. And I think he's going to talk to the founder a couple of hours from now to go over comp. I think the founder already told him. I think they met at a coffee shop yesterday. They had a really good discussion. The founder was able to address a lot of the concerns. And he told my candidate straight up, like, I want you on the team. Let's discuss comp tomorrow. And that's today. And that's what's going to happen. But the comp looks good. I think my candidate, initially told me 200 or higher, only because he kind of tossed it out there and he wasn't seriously looking. But now that he's seriously considering my client, he's like, hey, 200 is kind of like where I am right now. If I can, get something above that, like 225, that would be amazing. But I also do know that small companies like this client, the fact that I'm able to maybe even consider an offer at 200 is rare. And so he has really great awareness about everything. It's really great for me to know also his magic number, so I can just fight for my candidate and see if we can kind of get that offer as close to or hit that 225 as much as possible, because I don't want negotiations. I don't want to just have bidding wars. I don't want to deal with unnecessary drama. So he is excited. He has minimal concerns. He's not interviewing anywhere else. He is seriously considering this potential offer. And he also told me that salary aside, what's also really important is for him to have a chance to have an impact on the product and have also a management or leadership position, or one that can grow into one. And so it kind of checks off all the boxes. It's a hands-on leadership role. He can have a seat at the table, literally working right next to the founder, driving the architecture, the strategy, also being hands-on if needed, and then eventually building a solid engineering org all around. So it's super cool. So, but the next step here is I need to sync with the founder, tell him the news, see what he can do. I hope that he can budge, because I know that he raised $3-4 million in seed. They have a really good runway. He's willing to pay for the right person. But my concern is that with this economy, he's going to, want to be conservative with his cash. And for that reason alone, I don't know if he can hit 225, but only time will tell. So I got to connect with the founder now and see what happens. I also have 3 interviews happening today, another 7 candidate calls today. Gonna talk to another person who actually reached out through social media, potentially with new client opportunities and maybe new candidate opportunities. And the reason why I'm just really, really excited about this is I love meeting you all. And if there's a way that I can help, I will 100% try my best to help. You don't have to be a recruiter to work with me. If you have a great network, you have friends who are running companies and they're struggling with hiring, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help as much as I can. And if I can't, I'll do my best to intro you to other people in my network that can help. We have great finder's fee. We do great split percentages. I just love helping people out. Like, recruiting should be more collaborative. Recruiting needs to be less just focused on me, and just, hey, how can we partner and collaborate to help more people on a larger scale, more consistently? I think that's a win-win. Oh my God, you're not gonna believe it. So I was able to sync up with my founder. Everything looks great. My founder is excited, but he won't be able to go beyond 200. So not the best news, but thinking about this, it's not completely kind of a deal breaker, because there's so many other levers that we can utilize that I know is as important to my candidate than just the salary. Of course, I pushed back and I'm like, hey, if you can at least do 205 or 210 or do a sign-on bonus, that would just close a $25,000 gap between 200 where he's at and 225, which is the magic number. And my founder's like, nope, can't do it. So I'm like, okay, fine. If that's the case, then the best way to now navigate this is we really need to focus on equity. You need to come strong here. And the founder told me that out of the salary and equity, he has more leeway to work with the equity than salary, because he's like, we need to kind of be conservative, stay lean, maximize the runway as much as possible, so that it's the best thing for the company. And we have to be able to be smart with our money and work till do whatever we can to make the most of who we hire, to build our products, continue building our products and iterate, to then lead up hopefully to a successful Series A, raise more money, and further extend the runway. What's really, really key here is we're not going to be able to focus too much on the salary as a selling point. We're going to focus on equity, and most importantly, the longevity of the company, but also the growing opportunities for my candidate. He can grow so much. His scope can expand so much. His salary can grow so much as well. So when you're doing negotiations, offers, it's really important to not only paint what they can do now, present term, but what the opportunity can bring. And the good news here is that at least the founder can hit 200, which is where my candidate's at right now. That is just rare in and of itself for a pre-Series A company. A lot of companies will struggle hitting 120, 140, 150. So the fact that they can hit 200 is great. So my candidate won't feel like he has to take a step back on salary. He can at least do a lateral move and maybe a little bit higher. But my candidate also knows that coming in right now is the perfect time to maximize equity. A lot of people, Series A is kind of the sweet spot because for a lot of people, seed is kind of like still risky. The company is super small, not real product market fit there. But what makes this opportunity really, really important is that my client is a small company, but they already have customers. They already have a massive wait list of companies, and they already have a product that's generating, or they can be able to service customers, which is unreal. And so like as many companies at this stage don't even have an idea or still pivoting or still trying to figure out what the product is. Because of that, they were able to attract one of the biggest VCs in the entire country, raised a monster $3-4 million seed round, and now ample runway, able to push through this recession or the instability that is impending, or the instability of the market that we're going through right now. So I think there's a lot going, and the great thing here is my candidate is aware of all these things. He knows it's a rare opportunity. He knows that like, even though it's risky, he'll still be able to at least work a good 2-3 years because of great runway. So it's not like he'll have to find a job in the next 6 months. He'll still be able to get his salary, so he can still continue to save and not feel like he has to take a step back, but he has a significant jump in scope and responsibilities and equity, which is what he wants to do. So it's all about painting that picture really well and really making sure that even at the offer stage, we're all about, here's our opportunity, here's our candidate, trying to do our best to fit both as a perfect fit, perfect match of two Lego pieces coming together. If one thing is off, if you've played with anything Lego related, it's not gonna fit perfectly. And that's our job, to try to figure out what our candidate wants, what our client can offer, and just try to make the perfect fit, because that's how you make a successful offer. And that's how you make a successful placement. All right, so the call with my client and the candidate seemed to have gone well. My client came out with 200, can't really go much higher on the salary, and came out with a ton of equity, and it sounded like the candidate was really, really positive. Now, when I was kind of going back and forth with the founder, I'm like, what can you do? What can't you do? One of the things that I forgot to mention earlier that I recommend that he do is what I see a lot of companies do or start to do more is when they come out with an offer, they come out with 2 to 3 options instead of just one. For instance, in tech, as you know, if you've been watching, a lot of the offers are salary plus equity base. And what companies are doing now is, let's say hypothetically, scenario 1 is $200,000 salary, $200,000 salary, and a certain amount, let's say 2% equity. Then they'll provide 1 or 2 other options where it's like higher salary but lower equity, or lower salary and higher equity. So it's like maybe $180,000 salary but maybe 2.5% equity, or maybe $210,000 salary with 1.5 equity. Even though on the surface it may not seem like a big deal, I think psychologically it actually makes a huge difference, because number one, you're giving the candidate ownership to be able to choose what makes the most sense. Some people value cash more, some people value equity more. The fact that you're giving them an opportunity to choose the path that they want to go is really cool, and it will mean a lot to people. I think another way to make $200,000 more attractive is if you get $200,000, maybe 5% equity, but then you go $180,000 with 3% equity. That means even though my candidate, or even though a candidate might not want to go below 200, the fact that he has another scenario that's like, oh, well, that's 185. It kind of puts a lot more of an exciting energy on that $200,000, because like that's the best offer that my client can do. So it's another really cool thing to do. I wouldn't say it's like a secret or a tactic or trait. It certainly helps in a situation from the hiring company side where they just they don't have any other leverage or wiggle room for cash. And so by you showing like a lesser attractive option next to the best option, then it makes your initial offer look and feel even better when it's actually not that exciting because it's a lateral instead of a step forward in terms of salary. So it's like another really cool thing that we can kind of play with, and just honestly like pulling whatever stops I can to maximize the chance of the client closing my candidate, but most importantly, maximize the chance of my candidate being excited. I don't think he's gonna be that excited for 200, to be honest. I think it's gonna really come to equity and how well my client sells the opportunity. I'm gonna try to sync up with my candidate later today or over the weekend, if not first thing Monday, to see how he is, and we'll see what happens. I mean, if you are as excited as I am, just to see like what happens with this scenario, make sure you tune into the next video, because we will most likely document and talk about it. So see you in a bit. If you are worried about the recession, rightfully so, in recruiting, which is a service-based business, I think it's okay. Like, I think it's still an amazing career. It will always be an amazing career. Job opportunities is also an amazing career for you to start working for yourself if that's what you want to do. A couple things is like, you obviously, when it comes to working for yourself, you want to maximize your chance of staying alive or doing well. So like, if you have no recruiting experience, my best bet is to get a job or try to find like a really good program out there or course out there. I don't know if there are any really good ones out there, but if you're going that route, it's still really, really, really high risk and high chance of failure. And so just make sure about that on top of the added more complications and difficulties with the recession. For those that choose to come into recruiting now, and this applies, I think, for people who are working at a job or working full time, if you're able to start a brand new career and push through in this market condition, it's going to really teach you how to recruit very, very well. If you're able to push through, survive, you'll most likely survive because you're making smart decisions and you know the craft really well. You're doing everything well. If you're able to still pick up business in this market, still able to close positions in this market, reach out, talk to great candidates in this market, whatever you're doing right, like this environment is going to make sure that you focus on that and you focus on all the important stuff so that as everything stabilizes, as the market recovers and eventually goes up, if you can crush it in this market, in a bull run, it'll be 10 times, 20 times easier for you. So I think when you're working for yourself, freelancing or running a business, I think one of the reasons why a lot of people fail is because they start on a really good market and then they've never experienced what it's like staying alive or having to stay alive at a down market. And so if you're able to start in down market and get used to the pain and frustrations now and get used to the way things are working, the speed at which they're working now, and how difficult it is to get new candidates or clients now, and you're used to that as your regular cadence, then by the time everything recovers, oh my God, it's gonna be a breeze. It's gonna be smooth like butter. So long story short, there'll always be companies out there that are hiring. There'll always be companies with budgets that are using on tools like agencies, like third parties like us. And there'll always be companies that will always need to scale their internal team. So it's not all doom and gloom, and just be proactive, be consistent with your job applications, be consistent with your outreach, and everything will be fine. Some of the biggest companies that we know today have started in difficult market conditions. I think that's the way to go.
All right. Just had an amazing Q&A, our second and last session. If you made it, thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure to meet you all. And if you missed it, maybe we might do other sessions in the future. But I think this is a great point to slowly start end the week here. It's been a great week. Again, just very, very grateful for being productive, have a positive outlook, cautious positive outlook moving forward into Q4. And just honestly doing the best that I can and staying with the fundamentals, like reaching out to clients, reaching out to candidates, really developing and staying close to candidates throughout the interview process and just doing the best that I can. And it seems like the past week or two, nothing happened, and it seems like we might be coming close on a couple deals in the next week or two. I will definitely do my best to obviously showcase more of the week, but because it's been absolute crazy week, I was only able to show today, but hope you're able to have some entertainment and learn something today. How I usually end the week or end each day is the same. I always try to review what went well, what I can learn from, which candidates I talked to, what are some great leads if you're doing client development, and then making that a priority for the next day or the next week, so that if I have a really good lead, I can follow up with them, or if I need to follow up with a candidate, I can do that. If I have any fires or emergencies, I focus on that, and just make sure whatever you do now, you can always plan for the future, because if you do that, then your business continues to go, and that's how you ensure momentum into the future, instead of just focusing on what I need to do today and don't care about next week or the next couple of days at all, right? So you want to make sure you always feel like your business is pushing forward, and you always have follow-ups to candidates and clients set up on your calendar, so you know that those are going out in a timely manner. But really, really excited that potentially we have a couple offers to focus on, but it's been a crazy summer. It's been a productive summer, and I hopefully expect that Q4 and the fall continues to be really, really great as well. But gonna sync up with a lawyer on Monday, which is great, and have a lot of other cool things going on. And so I guess to finish up, it's been a great week. If you like this video, please give it a subscribe, help a recruiter out. I really, really appreciate that. gives me my voice back and some excitement to coming into next week. If you are a recruiter, you want to do partnerships, collabs, splits with me, reach out to me as well. I think that's the best way and the best thing to do, especially if you're thinking about starting your own agency. Instead of having to be like, oh my God, I have no clients. And while you're figuring that out, you can be working with someone like me and be focused on candidates and work on potential deals with me and maybe even make money sooner than you anticipated, or maybe even before you get your first client. It's a great way to kind of get your foot in the door, and I think the most conservative and safe or smart way that you can follow when it comes to starting your own business. So please reach out to me for partnerships, collaboration, splits. If you have questions, please reach out to me too. Love hearing from you. Please don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. If you love hearing stories of other recruiters, other founders, recruiting founders, other tech founders, other people that are just amazing careers and businesses, make sure you follow. We got some amazing speakers on deck. Please go. It's the brand new YouTube channel called the Kickstart Podcast, and there are links to the Spotify there too. Would love for you to subscribe, give it a big thumbs up too. And then don't forget to participate in our free Discord channel. Great way to sync up with me, ask questions to our growing community. But I really apologize for this being a slow one, but a lot of the stuff behind the scenes is me doing the same stuff over and over and over and over again and willing to do the work. Whatever is uncomfortable for you is most likely what you need to do, and you just know it, but you don't want to do it. So I'm telling you here, have a little motivation, have some confidence, and attack. I'm going to recover my voice, cover over the weekend, hopefully to see you again next week. And I will do my best to make these videos longer and try to jam pack it with as much value as I can. But thank you so much for your time and attention. And we'll see you on the next one. And let's all continue to crush our goals and elevate recruiting together. See you in the next one.